Okay. Good. So welcome all to our October commission meeting. So I hope everybody's well. And as far as I know, we don't have any guests that are asking to, speak. So we can just start the meeting by approving the September commission meeting minutes.
I'll approve it. Nancy.
And I'll second it.
Okay.
Okay. So I believe that this is going to be a quick meeting. As far as new business, I don't see anything listed under new business. So
does Lindsay have anything? No.
Wait, sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. I have some items to go over in the action discussion items, but
okay.
I don't have anything for new business.
So why don't we just move right along, right to the action discussion items?
Okay.
The first one is projects and program update.
Yes.
That's great.
So I actually first want to start with the Touch a Truck event that happened this past weekend at the Nature Center in Forsyth Park.
Yes.
Nancy was actually there as well. And so
I was too.
Oh, you were there? Oh, okay. Anyone else go? I don't know if anybody else stopped by, but anyone who went and saw firsthand how popular this event was. I could not believe how many people were there, how many vehicles. I think there were over 25 vehicles that we had registered for the event. And I have to say, I just want to make sure this is on the record that Mark D-Day and the Friends group, Friends of Forsyth Nature Center, have outdone themselves. I thought it was a wonderful event. Lots of noise, lots of excited kids. I brought my son. He was a little too young to really understand what was going on, and I was surprised that he didn't freak out with all the sirens and stuff.
Right.
It was really cool. And
it was.
All the operators of the vehicles, like we were speaking to a state trooper. She was very friendly and kind of went through all the different models of vehicles that they deal with, different features and buttons, and so it was very informative. I thought it was a great event. So Nancy, I don't know if you have any feedback, or Maureen, that you'd like to share too, but I thought it was great.
I thought it was a beautiful day. That's for sure. Weather held out.
Yes.
And I couldn't believe myself how many people were there.
Yeah.
I really couldn't. And I didn't get a chance to walk around and see everything. So you guys have to tell me how that was.
Yeah.
I was stuck in the
I had 4 little girls with me.
Oh.
Yeah, my granddaughter and her sister friends. So it was fantastic because I felt like they needed to experience these huge trucks that normally boys and men would be, more exposed to. And they just loved it. I mean, they climbed into the biggest trucks there were. They were like bus drivers and school bus drivers, and they had a I think it was the fire department. I think it was or buildings and safety or something, where there was a smoky room. So you had to go through some type of obstacle course inside of the smoky room, and it taught them what to do in the case of if they found themselves in a room that was full of smoke, how to get down, to crawl, and to, escape. So, but they had a wonderful time. I mean, I took lots of pictures. So this was the first time that I had a chance to attend this. And I agree that it was so successful and the day was beautiful. And beyond that, there was so much more to do because we ended up over at the park too. So yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So great job. And I know that Maureen, you had specifically asked if the city was doing any kind of Halloween event this year. So again, there's going to be another. Usually, there's the Boo at the Zoo that the Forsyth Nature Center has every season. This year, there's going to be a movie that's co-sponsored by the city. Hotel Transylvania 3 is going to be screened as a Halloween feature on, I believe it's the 29th. Is that a Friday? I think October 29th.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yep, and I know Frank Waters and My Kingston Kids are hosting a Halloween parade that's going to be co-sponsored with the Y. They've reached out to us, for some assistance with parades and just how we've operated things in the past. But mostly this is being operated by that group. But it is something that we're offering, making sure that we're pushing out there to the kids at our community programs and stuff and our after school program, so they know that there's this great event coming up and to get involved. So I think that they're doing a great job with that, but it is something.
What day is that?
I believe it's the 30th, excuse me. The
Okay.
29th is the movie. 29th is the movie at the Nature Center, or at the, Forsyth Park. And then the 30th is the Halloween parade. And I think it's
Okay.
Ghostbusters is the theme.
Oh,
Okay,
Yeah. Yep. Ghostbusters is the theme. I mean, kids can dress up, I think, however they want. I plan to
Yes.
go. So I think it's going to be a fun event.
okay, and that's also at Forsyth?
No, that's so I
That's at the
believe
Y?
it's ending at the Y. If
Oh,
I'd have to look up the route, but I'm pretty sure they're doing an Academy Green
Okay,
start.
I can look it up.
Yeah, I think they're starting at Academy Green and
Okay.
going down to the Y, unless that is
Okay.
changed. But when they originally talked to me about their plan, that was what they were looking to do.
Okay,
Yep. So as far as upcoming events, those are the things that we have going on. The Rondout Center is open for the after school program. Andrew has been giving me some feedback. I've visited down there. There are a ton of kids that are showing up this season so far. He's having on some days 20 or more kids. I think one day he even reached 30. And so it's definitely proving to be very popular this year. I think families and kids are feeling more comfortable coming back into the buildings with the protocols that we have in place. So that is a good thing.
and
Lindsay,
that's fine. I'm sorry.
the
Go
Transylvania
ahead,
3 is on October 29th,
Yes.
and that's at Forsyth.
Yes.
Hey, Joe.
And that is in lieu of Boo at the Zoo.
Yes,
But I do think that they're still doing.
yeah, no, we're in the meeting now.
I believe they're using the stage for kind of like
Yes.
a costume party or
Mhm.
costume competition. Did you
Mhm.
know? I think usually
No worries.
participates with that
All right,
part.
And then on the 30th is a parade.
The 30th is the My Kingston Kids Parade. I'm just trying to pull up the flyer. Well, it's not really a flyer. It's a they have like a registration form for people to do a float. I'm just trying to make sure I have this right here. And I can send this for anyone that's interested. Saturday the 30th from 3 to 8. So they're walking,
Okay.
oh, excuse me. So they're walking from the plaza and then they're
Okay,
ending at the Y. Oh, sorry.
okay, 3 to 8 p.m.
Yes. So lineup is beginning at 1:30 at Herzog's and they're taking off at 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's gonna be a fun one.
Okay.
What is yeah, so other things coming up. So our indoor well, let me start by saying that there have been some conversations with the mayor about how to move forward with our indoor sports this year in the middle of pandemic. We both agreed that we did not want to cancel our sports or our indoor activities. However, there needs to be some protocol in place to be able to safely operate. And so it was decided that any indoor adult sport participants have to be fully vaccinated in order to participate this year. And so it was the decision kind of came along with visitors needing to have masks inside the buildings. The question then came up, how do we effectively enforce, players to wear their masks, keeping everyone safe, especially for, a sport like basketball. I know that there were some players that, especially some of the older folks who may have health issues, had concerns about wearing masks while playing. And so we tried to hear all the concerns, and that was ultimately what was decided. And so it has created a bit of a delay, especially for volleyball, which was supposed to start on this past Monday. Teams that are continuing to play are trying to, take the time to get all of their team members vaccinated who maybe weren't vaccinated before. We've decided to push the season back till the 18th. So that's the reason for that delay. We've offered our gym space for teams to practice if they want to practice, to just try to stay active, until the time starts.
Are we getting any pushback on vaccinations?
My office, I can't say I have received any too much of pushback. I think there are teams that decided to drop out this year. There hasn't been any arguments or that at least I've experienced. Casey, who manages that program, said that she hadn't received as much as she was anticipating. I do understand that some people have their reasons for not wanting to get vaccinated, and we don't really get into those reasons. It's their choice, but it is also the city's choice and the mayor's choice, if he feels this is the best way to keep people safe. And so that's even for our employees at this time, for those who are not vaccinated, they had to fill out some paperwork with the county, and they are expected to receive weekly testing through the county for as long as they choose to be unvaccinated. So there does seem to be this trend. I've seen businesses doing it. People are starting to mandate that you be vaccinated to participate in their gyms, to go to their restaurants. People are starting to take these matters into their own hands for what they feel will keep their customers and their employees safe. So, and I expect some people might not be happy about that. And, we don't know how long all of this will continue, but this is where we're at right now.
Okay.
Yep.
Great, thank you.
Yep. So if you get questions about that, I don't know if any of you participate in adult sports, but just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of what the current policy is. So kids, for our indoor biddy league, that will not obviously be the case, but children and the referees, as well as the scorekeepers, everyone will have to wear their masks during those events and those games.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. And so, that's what we're focusing on right now, is just trying to get those sports up and running. Flag football is underway. So far, it's only been 1 week. We had a rain out this past Monday. I went to the first week of games. The kids were having a blast. It's just really fun to watch them. We had some different players that I haven't seen in the program, some new players. So that's good that we've generated some new interest. I was especially happy to see some females playing. I don't know if I recall any girls that participated last year. I could be wrong, but I believe I saw at least 4 or 5. And so, so to me, that's a big deal. I wish I played flag football growing up. So it was exciting to see that, and they seem to be having a good time. So and we had a good turnout. So excited to see that continue on. We did attempt to add a 3rd division this year for 14 to 17. We did not get as much interest in that as we hoped for or expected. I know Andrew had talked to a bunch of older kids in the high school group that expressed interest, which is why we wanted to offer it. So it was a little surprising. We tried to extend it for as long as we could, just to see if there were going to be some last minute signups. But ultimately, I believe I don't even think we reached enough for 1 full team. So we're going to try to push that out earlier next year and offer it more. it's a little tough with, when signups begin, because kids are either still trying out for football, soccer, or they're preparing for basketball. So, I understand that just may not be, ideal for that age group.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, as far as programs, that's what I have. Projects, I'll try to be brief. Kingston Point, Maureen, I think you said you were down there recently, so I'm sure you
Yes.
noticed the progress. The most recent update that I have received, the gate that's installed there is now being moved back to make room for the entrance and exit of the new parking lot. And so I believe that has been completed, and we're waiting for the lines to be painted in the lot. Once the lines are put in, that parking lot will be opened. The soccer field will probably not be able to be used until springtime, because we need to make sure that there's enough time for the grass to germinate and to make sure that everything grows in. As even if it gets tall, the maintenance staff have been directed not to cut it. We just want to make sure that it takes before doing anything with that.
Now, the soccer field, when you go into towards the beach,
Yep.
is the soccer field to the right? Is that where that's going to be?
Left.
To the left, okay, because that's where the activity that I was at was happening.
Yeah.
So the grass was there, but on the right-hand side, there wasn't any grass.
That's going to be, so the playground is going to be.
That's still going to be the playground. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I do believe that equipment is really on back order. It's crazy. It's crazy. So that probably will not be completed for some time. So
Yeah.
So the right will be the playground. The left is going to be the youth soccer field.
Okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I was down there the other day, and I think it is looking good.
Mhm.
And I get compliments. I have friends from Maine that come down here, and
Oh, nice.
some people who split their time, and they love Kingston Point Beach, and they think they're familiar with it in the history. They've lived here, and the resurgence, as they call it, and they really, are very complimentary about it and about the whole area down there particularly, and they just think it's one of the biggest drawing points. In the state. People coming from all over and wanting to go there, rather than there was a time when it was like, where are you going to the point?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah,
So
definitely.
now it's a place, it's really a place to go. And they put their boats in there or whatever. And, so and not that it's upscale, but it's much nicer. It's much nicer. It doesn't have that concession stand or something, but
Right.
which could make money, I said, but but
Yeah.
The parking lot when you come in on the right,
Mhm.
it looks like there's a median, in between two sections of the parking lot.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, do you know how many spaces there are?
Not off the top of my head, I don't.
But there's a significant number. I mean,
Yeah.
it's nice.
Yeah.
And is that the ball field? Half of that is underwater, the parking lot, and I don't know that we can even fix that, but I mean, I don't know, but
I don't know if that's going to be a phase 2 type of project or what the status is of that. But it is, it is problematic. I do think that is going to be another larger item to.
Yeah, I hear there's wetland problems,
Yeah.
and so, are we going to turn it back into, I don't know.
Yeah, there's been conversations about that space for quite some time. And so I think we're trying to just, focus on the one aspect and then, reassess the others. But
so the gate that's going there, that's going to be back far enough so that the people playing ball could access that parking lot, people playing softball?
Yes. So the gate was moved. It wasn't moved much. It was moved enough where that people can still utilize that front parking space. So, we get a lot of questions about the trail. People want to be able to access the trail. And so with the other gate, you know, that which closes off the original parking lot of the point, will still be closed off to make sure that, you know, things are staying safe and the water is not being accessed after hours. Your vehicles can't at least get through there.
Right.
But for people that are just looking to park and walk the trail, or walk, like you said, use the softball fields or the dog park, it will provide that extra space for any overflow, or for large scale events that happen. People often want to use the parking lot for that. Yeah.
Looking good.
Yeah, so it is
Yes.
coming along, and I will actually I'm going to forward it to you guys, but the mayor actually sent there's a great article about the point and all the improvements there in the Chronogram magazine. So I will forward that on.
So Kingston Point Beach is now a destination. You know, people
Sure
are
is.
making their way there. So that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So there's good things happening there. Also I don't know how many of you have gone past Block Park recently, but Block Park is that parking lot is being paved, and that is to be completed by tomorrow. So at some point tomorrow, if you have time, drive by, take a look at it. It's looking really great. It's coming along. We were on quite a delay with the contractor schedule, and then of course all the rain we got. But they're finishing up tomorrow, and so we're really excited about that.
And Maureen, your point is well taken. That, you know, I'm thrilled to see people on the beach, you know, and not that everyone goes there, but historically a lot of people wouldn't go there.
Right.
And, you know, and they would go to Taconic or out the town of Ulster or anywhere but there. And so, you know, I see a lot of activity there, you know, of course the volleyball stuff and all that, but just families down there that and individual people. And I think it's great, you know,
Right. I
bringing
do too.
yeah.
Yes. And there's more to do than just be on the beach, you know, so
Yeah.
that's a beautiful thing.
Yep. One other update I want to let you guys know about. So the Van Buren Street Park shade structure. The order has been placed for that. I have been working with our rep with the company. Again, though, the equipment is on delay, so that probably will not be finishing up until springtime. It's on like a 24-week delay. So, but it's going to look great once it's in. We have the plans in place for the removal of the structure and concrete to be poured. And so it's looking like it's going to be finalized in springtime.
Okay, that's good.
Yep, but the items have been ordered, so that's great. And I'm glad that it was ordered now and not later. So, yeah, so that's what I have as far as updates. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, one other question about the playground at the point. So do you think that that's going to be a spring installation as well? Or
I believe so, yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Good.
Lindsay, I have a question. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm sorry.
Hi, Joe.
I've been listening.
Hey, Joe.
Question for you about the question about that playground. What are we going to do for the ground aspect of it? Are we putting the mulch down there, or rubber, or what's your plans on doing that?
For which one?
For Van Buren Street?
This is not the playground. This is just the shade structure.
Oh, the shade structure. I apologize. Sorry.
Yeah. No, we're because I think the playground is actually fairly new, right?
Yeah, it's fairly new, but we
Okay.
keep putting. I'm sorry. That's another topic. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I apologize.
Oh, that's all right.
But go ahead. That's that's mulch in there, right?
Yes, it's mostly
Yes.
there now.
Yeah.
Are we gonna? I mean, I know this is like a little out of the way, but are we putting rubber down there instead of mulch? For the spring?
I believe with the last determination that was made, I mean, rubber mulch, it seems, is definitely the better option as opposed to the wood chips, but there was still a concern about the spreading of it. That, you know what I mean, that the pieces are still being spread apart. And you know, ultimately, I think the long-term goal is doing that safety surface, the pour and place at all of our playgrounds. The only issue is that it is quite expensive to do,
Yeah,
and
but with
so, yep.
right, but with the rubber mulch, you have there's these the plastic barriers that goes around the edge of it,
Yeah,
and it's not a trip hazard because the mulch will go to that height, and so it wouldn't be as bad as a spread as anticipated.
yeah. And I know you mentioned, you know, I think you mentioned being able to assist with that, or we could maybe do a rec commission project or get some volunteers and stuff to do
Yeah,
maybe a community project. That would be nice. Yeah.
yes, because we do have the mulch, you know, because it wasn't used at
That's right.
Raquel's park, so
Right.
we still have access to. Actually, it's about 25 to 30 tons of rubber mulch.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do, because we're still in you know, as we're planning for next year, I have my meeting with our maintenance supervisor, Steve, to kind of go over the plan for 2022 and just how we want to, what our goals are and how we want to move forward. So I want to speak with him about how many parks, you know, we can look at doing that with, especially now that Barman has the pour in place, Raquel has the pour in place. I don't know how many parks that covers. Do you have any idea of how much that could take care of?
Yeah, honestly, it probably if it's parks like Van Buren and what other park that doesn't have, I would say at least maybe 2 to 3 parks,
Okay.
and and you have to have at least, and that's at least 4 inches of that rubber mulch.
Say it again.
That's 4 inches of the mulch.
4 inches. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, 48 inches. It's 48 inches. I'm sorry.
Oh, 40. Okay.
4 to 8 inches. Yes.
4
4
to 8.
4 to 8, right?
4 to 8 inches.
All
Yes,
right. Now
correct.
40. Oh, I think you said 48. I was like, wow, that's a lot. All right.
No, that's like a mattress.
Oh, that's why I was like, okay, that's interesting.
That's bigger than a mattress. That's
And I was like, who am I to challenge you?
that's a health hazard. That's a health hazard. We lost 2 kids in the mulch. You know?
Yeah. I just want to make sure I heard that
Yes,
right.
4
It's our
to,
virtual thing.
yeah, it's 4 to 8 inches. I apologize. Yeah.
Okay. All right. No, that's good. No,
All right.
that's cool.
Okay.
No. Yeah. Thank you, Jeff.
Just something to throw out there. Something
Yeah.
to throw out there. At least we have it. You know.
And it's brown. What color did you say?
It's black.
Black. Okay. I just want to make sure I have that.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I will. I'm going to make sure this is added on our agenda to talk about.
That park, it's an interesting park. A couple of years ago, there was a multitude of complaints from the community that the park wasn't being cared for. And I volunteered to go there, and I went there with some rakes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And because the mulch was there, it was just kicked around, and there were bare spots all over. And it was like a Tom Sawyer or Huck Finn kind of. So I figured to just get it done. So I went out and started raking it, you know, and the kids from the neighborhood came. And they were excited. And 1, it's their park, and 2, you know, this was happening, and 3, could they help?
Mm-hmm.
So I limited their time, each of their times, with a rake. They one of them ended up with blisters or something, and they were working their tails off there. And you know, it took, I don't know, just 2-3 hours, whatever it was, and it got done. You know, and it really got done. I mean, I was there, but it really got done because of the kids. And well, it got done because I went there, but the kids in the neighborhood did a lot of the work. Now that had to be 3 or 4 years ago, and so they're older now. But you know, it's important to them. It was important enough to them to come out and do the raking. So you know, whatever we can do in those little neighborhood parks, I think is important, because that's what people have. They got what's in their neighborhood.
Right. And they want to be a part of the ownership of that area. and there was a meeting last night, I guess, about that's on Van Buren, oh, that's Van Buren Street. Thinking Franklin Street, because they're talking about, redesigning Franklin Street. So, but the park is on Van Buren, so I digress. But yeah, kids just need a little bit of leadership, so maybe that's something that we can work on through the Hodge Center also,
Yeah.
maybe
and-
a periodic cleanup.
Yeah, and I
of
think
the
it's also
park.
important to include the alderman in when we deal with the parks and stuff, which alderman is representing that ward. Like
Mhm.
Rita, I know Rita has reached out to me often about the park.
Okay.
She's the one that actually reached out about those two folks who wanted to do revive the garden there. And so I do know that she cares very much about the Midtown area and neighborhood.
Good.
So that
Yes.
might be a good thing to loop her in on and try to do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
All right.
So the next item is the Ken Bryant Memorial
Yeah,
ribbon cutting that was postponed.
yes.
Any
I
idea?
was
when we
hoping to
can do
have
that?
a new date from the family by tonight. I have not received that date.
Okay.
I will say the ball's in their court. They know that they're just trying, they have family from out of town that they really want to be there. And since they had to postpone the original date, I think they're just trying to get everyone back on the same page for the next date. So the sign is made. I doubt they would want the sign to be installed before the ribbon cutting. So it is sitting in the sign shop for now until I hear otherwise. We will keep it there. Unless they say no, put it up and then we'll do a formal ribbon cutting. So I will be staying on the family and I call at least, once every other day, sometimes every day, depending on how often I talk to certain relatives. So I'm on it, trying. And so I do think they really want to do it. They really want to have this ceremony. I know Tyler wanted to coordinate a game with kids that or some that might not be kids anymore, like some people that Kenny actually coached or had an impact on their life. So
Yes.
he personally wanted to take that on. So I do think that he's still working on that as well. It's just a matter of getting a date on the books, and so that's
So
kind
it
of
may
where
not happen and it may not happen until 2022.
it's starting to feel that way.
Mhm.
When I spoke to Kevin, he said that he's in conversations with his family, often asking for confirmation. And I said to him, at this point, I just want to tell the commissioners, if it's not going to be this year, I mean, it's starting to get cold out, so I would imagine
Right.
we're looking at a spring timeline. He told me he was still going to push for it for this year, but we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. We have a small window now, it's I don't know about you
Yes.
guys, but November starts to push it for me as far as weather. So, but you never know. Sometimes we have a 65-degree day and, but I will hopefully have an answer by next week.
Okay. I just wanted to mention and get your feedback on the concern at the Rondout Neighborhood Center.
Yes.
Andrea is not here
Yeah.
to speak about that, but
Yeah.
I think it's a valid concern. So
I do
as
too.
far as
Yeah. And I
getting
just want to
access.
say that I had written back to Andrea, for any of you or anyone in the community, if you see something, hear something that is a concern, bring that to my attention right away. It doesn't need to
Mhm.
wait until a monthly meeting or, those things, you can always call me. Sometimes we miss each other, but I try my best to get back to everyone.
Right.
But there's no reason to have to wait
To
for
wait.
something like that.
Yes.
I have to know about it to be able to address it. So
Yes.
the sooner I know about it, the sooner I can address it. And I I spoke with the staff at the Rondout Center yesterday, as soon as I saw that email. So, and just like that, that quickly, it can be fixed, but I had,
Yes,
so
yes,
I just want to put that out there for future stuff. Anything that comes up, call me.
absolutely.
Even if we play phone tag, leave a message, at least I can start working on it, or an email, whatever you do. I mean, I know Al's called me about stuff. Maureen, I know you have. Joe's always calling me. So I
Yeah.
know, I
And
know.
Joe says he kind of peruses around that
Yeah.
when he's in the area,
Yes.
he's checking out,
Yeah.
the Rondout
that's-
Neighborhood Center. When I'm out and
Yeah,
about,
not
I'm
to-
checking out parks.
Yeah.
Joe?
Yes. So not to cut anybody off, but I apologize about that. But I go there at least maybe 3 times a week in the afternoons and the evenings. And I talk to Andrew, and I go in the gym and walk around and look around, maybe shoot a ball or two, whatever, once in a blue moon, because I gotta get my foul shots ready. But
Gotta get together.
yeah. But I know in the evening it's pretty much secured, in the evenings, and I always speak to Andrew and watch the kids leaving, because I know he's always at the door, and
He does stand
when
at
they're
the door.
there.
Yes.
Yeah, he stands at the door, and I know that sometimes they have I think they have like a study program upstairs also.
Yes, Miss Washington. Yes, Teresa is.
Miss Washington.
Yep, she's doing.
Yes.
We've offered the space for her to do her read and write program. For after school.
Right, and that's going very well from my observation. So I've been down there and looking, but during the daytime I haven't. But anytime I'm get a chance, during the daytime I stop by and check things out as well. So we'll keep an eye on it. I
And
know
that's
sometimes. Right, and sometimes in the evening, I know the police officers has access to the gym, and sometimes they're going out to work out downstairs.
Yeah, that is something that I was made aware of. That's an arrangement, I guess, that was prior to me being in the department.
Yeah, that was prior to you, Lindsay,
Yeah.
and that happened about maybe 4 to 6 years ago. Because the gym downstairs used to be, we had it set up years ago with the for the kids. Because Rob and I used to run like a weight program for the kids down there, and and the staff, whatever, they would come and work out and whatever, and it was nice.
So is that equipment still available for the public or no?
Oh yeah, the gym, that
Yeah,
building
yeah.
it is definitely still. It's not one agency's gym space. Like Joe, if you have,
Right.
if I'm saying as an example, if you did want to offer a weight training program, that building is still that space can still be used by our programming.
And the equipment?
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because some of the kids, I know you have kids in the
Okay.
afternoon. There's kids in the high school, and or in the afternoon they want something to do. The other night, I got to share the story. And real quick, it's very brief. There was a kid there, and he came across the street, and they just had closed, and I went over there, check everything out, and I went inside and looked around, and I said, okay, everything is fine. And I came out, and there was a little kid there. And he had to be like 13 years old, and he came from like the Colonial Gardens area. And he says, "It closed?" I said, "Yeah, it's closed." He goes, I said, "I just closed the door." I said, "But it's closed." And he goes, "Really? Is it really closed?" I said, "Yeah, I'm closing. I'm closing." He said, "Wait a minute." I said, "What's wrong?" And he starts crying. I'm like, "Why are you crying?" He goes, "Only thing I want to do was play basketball for like 20 or 30 minutes just to shoot the ball." And he goes, I said, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "So what's wrong?" He said, "It's never open. And some of us down here, and we're good kids, we don't have anything to do." I said, "Okay." I said, "I understand." I said, we'll talk about it. I'll bring it back to the board, and we'll see what we can do for you." He says, but right now, I really, can I just shoot the ball 3 times, at least 4 times? I was like, oh gosh, and I said, I don't know. I said, he said, but I'm trying to make the basketball team. He said,
Oh.
my first time trying out for the team. He said, I just wanted to practice. I said, oh gosh, you know, and it was hard to say no because Santa never says no to kids. But so I let him shoot the ball. I let him shoot the ball for like 5 or 10 minutes, and I said, okay, are you all right now? He goes, yeah, thank you so much. And he was off and on. He was happy. He said, I finished my homework, whatever. But needless to say, the story, the point I'm trying to make is that we need to do something down there in the evenings for the kids in that area.
Yep. Yeah.
Because there's nothing, I mean,
yep.
Yeah, we have to do something.
We've Andrew and I have had conversations about this. I've talked with the mayor. We were working to have the Rondout Center open a couple nights a week. The challenging part is with, finding the dates around flag football and around like other community programs that are happening. So for example, Friday nights, the school, the county, and the city are all co-sponsors of the Friday nights out at the high school.
Right.
Tay Fisher's doing his league at the Midtown Center on Thursdays. Monday, Andrew is doing flag football. So we are looking to try to find a scheduling, arrangement that works where Andrew can be at the Rondout Center a little bit later on select days to be able to have some of the older kids come down and hang out, play, have some, constructive activities and games or whatever. So we're trying to work that out.
The gym down there with the weight room, and there was a treadmill and some other stuff in there. And there's a bit of a rub there. So just to be cautious, there had been some equipment in there that was discarded, thrown out, I think. And well, there was a police officer or two who had gotten approval to set the room up, and they had equipment that they wanted to put in there. And something happened, and the old equipment left, got wherever it went, junked or whatever happened to it. And so there were some harsh feelings between some Parks and Rec people and the individual officers who put that into play. They thought it was disrespectful and whatever.
I'm sorry, when was this?
This was when they set that gym up about, I don't know, it had to be, it was a while ago. It was years ago. And that officer's retired. So, but there was just a big rub.
Al? Hello?
Is he muted?
Hello?
Al, we can't hear you.
It's Joe. Can you hear Joe?
Al,
I can hear
Al,
Joe.
can't hear
I
you.
can't hear
Al,
Al's talking
can't hear
too.
you.
Oh, he muted. Oh, okay. You got muted. Okay.
All right.
So, not to cut Al off, but actually, the equipment, just a quick history of that. The equipment that happened about maybe 10 to 12 years ago. The high school was getting new equipment up there. Myself and Rob Dassey, this is the time that Coach Balotta was coaching, and they donated all the equipment. And it was really good equipment, and there was sets of everything in there down there. It was donated, and Rob, myself, a few maintenance guys, along with the late Mr. Taylor Tanny, the maintenance guy there, and we all brought the equipment down there, set the gym up, and we had a really nice, weight room down there. It was very nice. This is when Quentin in that area, when those guys were playing high school football, because we were coaching at the time up there as well. And some things that happened, I don't know how it transpired somewhat, but the equipment was removed, and then the police officers had put their equipment in there. I don't know where all that equipment went, because we had it was like almost like a state-of-the-art gym down there. It was really nice, and things happen. But I think and then to me, the equipment down there isn't definitely not like the equipment was that was there prior at all, by far. But I mean, you can use what we have and make do what we have. But honestly, there should be better equipment in there, and you know, it could be a lot better. But besides the equipment, we need to talk about the bathrooms and everything down there also. I think that might be another discussion. But that's the real history of what happened down there about 12 years ago.
Yeah,
So,
that's
so it's,
unfortunate.
yeah. Hey.
Yeah, it's just that it was an issue, you know. We're not lost in it now. We don't want to get back in. But we can look at that center, the weight room, the bathrooms, all of that, maybe as one package.
It's a little
Right.
tough with the CDBG project has proven to be quite complicated as far as old money and what that money can be used on. You know, so there's facility improvements and then there's programmatic you know, items. I'm learning that
Okay.
with the Midtown Center and what CDBG money can actually be used on and what it can't be used on. So there are definitely improvements that need to be made to that facility that are you know, top priorities, you know, that we have to address first. Like you said, the bathrooms, the accessibility or lack of accessibility. You know, there's definitely a list of things we're trying to do. Sorry.
Right. Okay, so our top priority, or Joe is, his concern is that I think the bathrooms and the showers get addressed. So then
Yes.
the equipment and the programming will be something, you know, for the future, so.
Yeah.
But-
we really need, if we could just get something also down there, just in the evening. I know you work on it, Lizzie, and that's great. But I do, maybe you and I could have a conversation, Maureen, whoever, pertaining to, even if we can get I know I do have some volunteers for maybe like twice a week for 2 hours that are willing to come down and do stuff for the kids in that, around the neighborhood center, like to open it up and, you know, let them play ball, whatever it is. And like I said, again, this is volunteers who's willing to do it maybe at least twice a week to help out, you know, with the recreation department. And I'm definitely one of them. And it could be a lot more if we, you know, once we sit down and discuss this.
It's definitely worth revisiting at another meeting, for sure.
Yes, definitely.
I will, okay. Evening programs, okay. Any other comments regarding the programming at Rondout? We can address that at another meeting, so we'll just move right along then. I just lost my agenda. Okay. So, my phone, what's next on the agenda? I'm sorry.
Well, the old business is next. Community volunteers recognition names. Anybody? I mean,
Yes.
at this point, I have to say though, we're back around to planning for the February one that didn't happen this past year, I think. So I don't know what everyone's thoughts are on that, but you know.
I'm thinking that it's something that won't happen this year, you know, so you know, maybe by the next year, we, you know, we'll be able to recommend somebody, or, you know, recognize somebody for their volunteerism, but it's proven to be quite difficult this year. I don't know. Al, what do you think?
Well, I agree. You know, if we don't have traction on it now, you know, earlier in the year might be a better option. Things are more open, hopefully. And, there's things going on and, maybe we just need to spend a little time. Maybe I need to spend a little time thinking about who some of those people are and nominate them, because there are people that are doing, good stuff in the community for kids.
I think that, we kind of lost traction with, with programming being shut down during that whole COVID scare and pandemic. So I think that this will, if we don't try to name someone this year, it'll give us all a chance to be able to probably identify the people who are out there volunteering, because I know that I'm going to be, trying to get to the flag football games or, any of the other things that's happening, the programming at the Rondout Center and the Midtown Center. So, it'll just give us a little bit more time to be able to acknowledge who is actually volunteering and helping out. So, like you said, I know that they're out there, it's just that I don't know who it is. So that is, I think that that's something that we can definitely revisit also,
Maybe
in the upcoming year.
Yeah, maybe we can make use of social media and ask, the local community to submit some names, in Messenger or something. And, not, you don't have to use them all, but, or they don't all have to be selected, but some may.
Yeah, I mean, there are other people who are working closer to those programs who may know, who the people are that's volunteering their time. So I think that that's a good suggestion. Okay. Any other comments on volunteer recognition? Any other questions regarding anything about tonight's meeting? Okay, I appreciate everybody who showed up, and but we will have our next meeting in November, Thursday, November 4th, 5 p.m. virtually. So until then, everyone stay well, and I'm sure we'll meet up throughout the community. Have a good night.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Maureen.
Guys, bye.
Bye. Thank you, Maureen.
Thanks. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.